Does Dorian mode feel too advanced for your late elementary students? When introducing modal concepts for the first time, late elementary piano players need concrete, engaging ways to experience Dorian mode beyond just reading notes on a page. So today I'm sharing 10 practical activities that transform abstract modal theory into musical experiences your students will actually understand and enjoy, helping them play with confidence and genuine musical understanding. All right, so let's start with why hearing music in a particular mode helps students later in the process when they're learning to play in that mode. It creates that essential musical foundation before they tackle the technical aspects. For activity 1, get students to listen to a piece in Dorian mode. So let's hear Gazing at the Fire. Gazing at the Fire is educationally designed with clear Dorian mode patterns that make these teaching activities work beautifully in your studio. You'll find Gazing at the Fire on my website or scan the QR code here. So which mood did you hear in this piece? By the way, let me know below because I know I definitely have a very visceral reaction to this song every time I play it, and I would love to know what you hear. For activity 2, play both a natural minor scale and a Dorian scale. Get your student to tell you which note is different. And it's that raised sixth, but don't give them any hints. Let them figure it out. This links something new to something they already know. Welcome, I'm Rosemarie. I've been teaching for over 20 years and composing imaginative educational piano music for nearly as long here at Must Love Music. And if this is helpful, please consider subscribing. Activity 3, this is one of the most advanced hearing activities in this list for you as a teacher, not for your student. Play the chord progression that's in the music, then change any chords that have the raised sixth back to the flat sixth to make it minor. Ask your student, how does this change the song? For example, in Gazing at the Fire, there's a major 4 chord, which would normally be a minor 4 chord if it was in the minor version of this song versus Dorian. When moving from familiar concepts to exploring new ones, some teachers think they don't have time to explore, that they need to just focus what's on that page. However, this exploration is essential for students to link old and new learning more efficiently. This leads to deep learning, learning that lasts, and also that they can apply it from song to song. So for activity 4, get your student to play a minor scale that's linked to their song. For example, C minor if the piece is in C Dorian. Once they do that, get them to test out how it changes when they raise the 6th note. It's a perfect link to activity 2 from our hearing section. Activity 5, teach them the chord progression by rote. At this level, the accompaniments are typically partial chords like chord bridges, full chords, or hand-over-hand arpeggios. So this makes it a little easier to find them in the music for you and also for you to teach them by rote. Get them to focus on how does this feel under their fingers and how does that raised sixth change the sound, which is also another perfect link to activity 3 from our hearing work. And then for activity 6, use the chord progression from the previous activity and have your student improvise a simple melody on top. Try the pentascale first, so that's the first 5 notes of the scale. Then try using the top 4 notes of the scale, of the Dorian scale, starting on the tonic. The pentascale notes will sound great. Look, it's just the way it goes. However, the top 4 notes, they're going to be hit and miss with those 6th and 7th degree notes, but it definitely hits home how changing the 6th degree makes a very different sound. And I'd recommend using the 7th degree only as a passing note. Okay, so here is if I do the pentascale. And if I move it so that it's the top notes, now, for more inspiration, your students can practice this Dorian mode concept in my video created especially for them. Hopefully it's linked here and it's in the description as well. These practical activities demonstrate the flexible teaching approach that makes lessons easier. My newsletter shares pedagogically sound strategies, ready to implement activities, and educationally designed sheet music that students love to play. Teachers even influence upcoming resources. So sign up for the best piano email ever, link in the description, or scan this QR code. All right, let's go beyond just saying, this is what's on the page, play that. Anybody can do that. But you miss a chance for deep learning that extends well beyond the piece in front of your student. So for activity 7, the idea is to start with their favorite section of the piece. You can find this out when you play the song for your student in activity 1. For example, what do they recognize in the section? What's new or unfamiliar? What do they like about the section? Probably start with that one. And how is it related to the Dorian mode? So if you've been looking at the Dorian mode a bit in other activities, you can kind of build that one in. For activity 8, choose a repeating pattern that includes the raised 6, even better if it's in the melody. Get them to verbally tell you the comparison between minor, what they're familiar with, and the Dorian mode, which is that something new. While it's tempting to write things down for your students, get them to do this so that they have another layer to their multi-sensory exploration of the piece. The only exception here is if you have a student who writing is very difficult for them and it's going to tire them out really quickly. So for activity 9, do a minor version versus Dorian mode comparison. Get your student to highlight. Now you can put the music in a page protector. You can use colored tabs. I really love using a digital version of the score. Does not matter which option you choose. Get your student to highlight the notes or chords that are different because of that raised 6th. This takes what they've heard and then what they've played in those previous activities and creates a visual link as well where they're doing some analytical work. For activity 10, write in the chord names. Again, get them to do this. Are any of them different than what would be expected for a minor key? This works especially well after that activity 5 because you've already been doing some groundwork for this. By the way, what's your biggest challenge when introducing modal concepts to late elementary students? Let me know in the comments because I really love hearing about your teaching experiences. The multisensory approach we've explored builds deep musical understanding that extends well beyond any single piece. The Memories of Summer playlist showcases pieces in various modes, including Dorian, giving you perfect repertoire examples to support these strategies and inspire student creativity. Thanks and happy teaching.